investigation.
The latest batch of documents released by the DOJ, including several unverified claims connected to President Trump, as well as emails showing Epstein corresponding with billionaires Bill Gates and Elon Musk. 1 week after her elderly mother went missing from her Tucson home, Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, her siblings, and police anxiously await for any kind of breakthrough they hope will lead to Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts. ABC's Aaron Katarski.
The frantic search is drawing worldwide attention, but for Savannah Guthrie and her family, this is a deeply personal horror of sadness and frustration. The police were tracking a possible vehicle of interest at a nearby convenience store that may have been spotted during that 45-minute window when police believe Nancy Guthrie was taken, but there are no new leads.
Guthrie is 84 years old. The man accused of stealing a police car now faces 10 felony charges. 26-year-old Giante Dixon of Racine is accused of carjacking and first-degree recklessly endangering safety after being confronted by police at Mayfair Mall on February 3rd. He then allegedly jumped into an empty squad car and took off, knocking officers to the ground. Dixon was arrested later in Brookfield after a crash and foot chase. He was also linked to earlier chases and a domestic violence incident that same morning. The 4 injured officers are all back on the job. A man from Sun Prairie is under arrest after driving drunk with a child in the car near Johnson Creek. The Wisconsin State Patrol stopped the driver speeding after 5 p.m. Friday night on State Highway 26 near Linn-Mar Lane. Once stopped, the trooper found the driver had been drinking and had a controlled substance. There was also a child in the car. 50-year-old Marshall Eccles was arrested for an OWI. Moments to the women's downhill ski final, American Lindsey Vonn suffered a crash and was taken off the mountain by a medical helicopter. CBS News' Seth Duan.
This is Seth Doan with CBS News in Cortina, Italy, standing at the bottom of the slope, looking back up at where Lindsey Vonn just had that terrible crash. We were standing at the time watching her in the venue, in the Olympic venue, and there was such enthusiasm all morning for her. The world was here to watch Lindsey Vonn this morning and saw a devastating turn in this comeback story.
The U.S. ski and snowboard team commented on X that Vonn will be evaluated by the medical staff after this fall. However, Vonn's teammate Breezy Johnson of Wyoming earned the first gold medal of the Winter Games for the U.S. by winning that event. Drivers may not notice it, but WisDOT says traffic signals are being adjusted to manage backups tied to the I-94 closures.
As traffic reroutes around the 27th Street Bridge closure, Wisconsin DOT says work is happening behind the scenes to reduce congestion. Eric Hansen with the DOT says,
we do have a traffic team that closely monitors and measures delays, and we are working directly with the city of Milwaukee to determine adjusting the timing and phases of their traffic signals.
He says the focus is on problem intersections.
This identifies where are we seeing backups at signals, where vehicles are waiting through several green lights before they can get through the intersection.
The DOT will keep a close eye and make adjustments as needed. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 8:03.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
This President's Day, settle into comfort and enjoy the savings at Steinhafels. For a limited time, receive at least 10% off store-wide, along with special President's Day pricing on beautifully designed furniture and mattresses. And for the ultimate in luxury sleep, test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress, and you could win a relaxing getaway to Hawaii. Elevate your home with timeless style, exceptional comfort, and exclusive savings, only during the President's Day sale at Steinhafels. You can shop in-store and online at steinhafels.com.
Save big money on your next painting project at Menards. Pristine interior paint and primer in one.
is Dutch Boy's best hiding and most durable paint. It delivers a smooth, elegant finish while providing maximum scuff, stain, and mark resistance. Save big money on Dutch Boy paints and get your painting project started today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks make it 3 wins in a row at home, beating the Indiana Pacers 105-99 Friday night at Pfizer Forum. Coach Doc Rivers.
Winning is like a deodorant. It covers a lot of things that stink at times, When you start winning games, the ball goes in, you feel better, you want to come to practice. When you lose games, you dread watching film. Everything's a big deal. The shots get tighter, and now you can see our guys are playing loose. They're playing free. It's nice.
The Bucks get a break before heading back on the road to take on the Orlando Magic Monday night. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a crash that's on I-94 heading westbound right near American Family Field at the interchange. It's blocking the left lane, but other than that, no major incidents and no major delays.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, partly cloudy, high of 30. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 38. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 40. Right now in Madison, it's 19 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 16 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 21 degrees. And in Milwaukee, we are rocking at 25 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Linton in Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And a very good Sunday morning to you. We've got a lot to get to this morning, but before we do anything else, first of all, Liz, great to have you here this morning.
Hi, Libby.
Yeah, I want to go back to this Nancy Guthrie story because it's now been a week that she's been missing. And as you reported, there is a new video that the Guthrie family released where only Savannah speaks. And I thought to myself when I saw this that it has a much more ominous tone than the other videos that had been released early in the week. The first one being with the 3 children of Nancy Guthrie, and then the brother spoke the other day, and then this one yesterday was only with Savannah. And you know what I thought was interesting on this, and maybe you caught it? They didn't address their mother at all. They just said to the kidnapper that we received your message and we understand. And to me, it was a total change of what we had heard before. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, and again, if you sort of parse what is being said to the kidnappers, where they said that we want you to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. And that comes to mind with other meanings than just bring our mom home so we can have a party.
I have the same feeling that you have, I think, about how ominous this latest message sounded. Savannah said things along the lines of, we understand, we know, we just need it was very borderline, we need this closure. And the tone has shifted very drastically. I would totally agree with you. And so I do think that they have received, there was reports this weekend that they received a message, but it didn't say ransom note. It said message, which I think is an interesting distinction because they've, up until now, if it's a ransom note, they've been saying it's a ransom note. So I'm wondering what that means exactly, but I imagine it's something that they're not letting on to the public yet because it's not something that they can officially verify at this time. But I feel deeply gutted for Savannah's family because I don't, based on her tone, I don't feel like the news must have been good.
Well, plus she said, returning the mother to celebrate with her is the only way that we can have peace. And it was just heartbreaking to hear that latest message. And as you said, the ominous tone of it, just what they must be going through is horrible.
What they must be going through is horrible. I can't imagine what that must feel like to not, it's so hard when they're just missing. I mean, it's how do you get an entire person to just disappear? I think that's so terrifying to think about. And I hope for the best with this situation, but I don't think that, it doesn't seem to be heading in any sort of positive direction.
Well, a week is a long time for somebody to be missing. Yeah. And especially somebody at the age of 84, already in, with health problems, that you can only imagine the stress that her body was under when she would have been taken. So, again, I know you're going to keep an eye on this morning.
Oh, yes.
If we receive any news here before 10 o'clock, please come back into the newsroom and break in, because we definitely are keeping our eye on that one, Liz. Great to have you here with us this morning.
You.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
and, hey, are you planning on doing anything for the big game today? Are you hosting? Are you going somewhere?
I'm just going over to a friend's house. We're having a real casual little Super Bowl party, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, it's 60 years this year. I think it's the 60th Super Bowl.
It is.
And I mean, all these years, it's obviously a celebration, not just of football, but you got the TV commercials, and most importantly, you have the food. And we are going to talk about it all today when the host of Green Bay Game Day, Alex Strofe, is going to join us with insight on the two teams. That's new at 9. And we're also going to talk with WTMJ's Sandy Max about some of the not-to-miss commercials and what time to start watching everything. But first, let's talk food. If you haven't figured out today's menu yet, I talked with Emily Williamson from Pick and Save and Metro Marts about some last-minute ideas. Let's start with appetizers.
I'm a guacamole girl. Other people are really looking for that taco dip, and then there's some fantastic buffalo chicken and burnt ends dip. But what I love to do is really kind of personalize it and customize it, taking that fantastic burnt ends dip, topping it with a little bit of cut up chives or something like that. The guacamole you can top with a little bit of sour cream to make some football laces. Grab an oblong bowl if you have something like that and put some guacamole right inside of it. Grab one of those squeezable sour creams and you can just do a very fine line on the top and then the cross for the laces.
I love that idea. And Emily also had some suggestions on how to put together a cheese board.
When you're creating a cheese board, you want to kind of pull in a variety of different cheeses, different textures and flavors. You can pull all of those things together. We've got a fantastic 1-year aged Gouda that has a little bit of caramelization notes to it. There's a Cotswold onion and chive cheese that's absolutely fantastic. It makes a really nice accompaniment. You can serve it with local Wisconsin Potter's cracker, a little bit of honey mustard, and then top it off with like a cornichon. So you can have a lot of fun with cheeses. The goal here, when I talk to our cheese team, is they say have fun, make it organic. So start with some of those key items. Start with your cheese slices, wedges, and then start filling in with things that pair well with them. Some nuts, you can make rosettes out of prosciutto or salami, and then include some fresh fruit too to get a little bit of that acid and bring it all together.
You know, a lot of us like chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday, but maybe you're not a fan. So Emily had another option. It would be create a burger bar.
Provide an option for people to pick their burger flavor, jalapeno and cheese and bacon. You can put these all kind of on a board or in a warming space together, and then include toppings. They want lettuce and tomato. Do they want something a little bit more unique? Onion jam, pepper jelly. You could do those more traditional flavors, or you could get a little bit more creative, have a little bit more of a spin. I love avocado on my burger, but I know that maybe not a good fit for everyone. So doing something like this gives people the option to add what they'd like to do and then choose their bun type as well, whether it be something like a buttery brioche or do a pretzel roll and have a little bit of customization and option for your party.
Ooh, you gave me an idea. Avocado and salsa on a burger. I think I'm getting hungry.
That sounds delicious.
And that was Emily Williamson from Pick and Save and Metro Mart. A lot of great ideas. And like we said, if you haven't put the menu together, there's still time because the game, it starts at 5 o'clock tonight, after 5 o'clock. All right, but we're not just talking Super Bowl this morning. We're also going to talk with a writer whose father and uncle were both shot down in their B-24s by the Germans in World War II. Now, you're going to want to hear that story, and also we'll tell you where you can meet this author this week right here in Milwaukee. Valentine's Day is Saturday, and our consumer expert, Michelle Reinen, has some ideas on how to avoid being taken advantage of when you buy those last-minute gifts. And plus, with the close of football season, plus the Olympics underway, our attention's going to soon be turning to baseball. And Tim Gibbons, the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, tells us about some of the improvements that are being made at AmFam Field. And wait until you hear about that. We've got Liz Littonen in the newsroom. Isaac's here pushing those buttons. And coming up in just 2 minutes, we're going to hear from Eric Bilstead with another everyday hero. It's 24 degrees. We'll get up to 30 today. And it is 8:16 on WTMJ.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
At Capri Communities, they believe people of every age deserve to enjoy life.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community. He has gained such new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on great new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place really gives me the peace of mind I needed. And now, we're both enjoying life again.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. When you want to see more of Europe, Princess Cruises delivers. With Princess Cruises and Fox World Travel, explore iconic Mediterranean ports by day, then relax in classic comfort by night. From immersive shore excursions to destination-inspired dining, every moment is designed to feel effortless. Ready to set sail on your Mediterranean adventure? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book your European getaway.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
It's 24 degrees at 8:18 on WTMJ, and it's time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's Eric Bilstead.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's Morning News celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Western Australia. Joanne Appleby and her kids were on vacation. They were at the beach, and they took out 2 paddle boards and a kayak from the hotel. It was around noon. They were having a good time when the weather quickly changed on them. Wind conditions started to turn, dragging them out to sea, so Joanne told the children, okay, let's start heading back. So the 3 kids, Austin, 13, his little brother Bo, who's 12, and Grace is 8, and Joanne all started heading back. But their pedal boards weren't working very well. We're starting to lose air. They lost one of their oars, and Austin was the only one who was making any headway. So his mom says, Austin, don't wait for us, just go and get help.
One of the hardest decisions I ever had to make was to say to Austin, try and get to shore and get some help. This could get really serious really quickly.
So Austin takes off in the kayak. He disappears from sight, but really wasn't having much luck.
The kayak kept on taking in water. I was fighting rough seas, and then the kayak dumped me a million times, and then I was holding onto the kayak for so long.
So he ends up ditching the boat and starts swimming.
Yeah, I just said, all right, not today, not today, not today. I have to keep on going.
So in his head, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
And Austin says he was thinking about everything, his family, his friends.
I think at one point I was thinking of Thomas the Tank Engine.
So after hours of swimming towards shore, he finally makes it.
I hit the bottom of the beach and I just collapsed.
He runs to his mother's phone, calls 911.
I said, I need helicopters, I need planes, I need boats. My family's out at sea.
The helicopters and boats would head out looking for his mom and two younger siblings. They would find them at 8:30 p.m. They had drifted 9 miles and had spent 10 hours in the water. As for Austin, our little hero, he swam for 4 hours, making it 2.5 miles back to shore. One first responder called him superhuman. His mother calls him a hero.
I'm speechless at his efforts, but at the same time, I knew he could do it.
Thank you, Austin, for being an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Libby Collins. A move later in life can be overwhelming. Well, I've got a suggestion for you. Bruce's team of senior real estate specialists have helped over 3,000 families make it a stress-free transition. You know, they've been doing this for over 47 years. And they've also won the 2025 Better Business Bureau Ethics Award. And here's what they do. When you hire Bruce's team to handle the sale of your home, they provide support on everything. I mean, we're talking downsizing. They'll come in. They'll help you to sort through things. They've got experts and reliable contractors making sure that your home is perfectly set for sale and to get the top dollar, because you're going to need that money in your retirement. Here's how you can learn more. Attend their free event. It's called Moving in the Right Direction. This is going to take place on March 3rd at the Berner Botanical Gardens. Now, what they do is they get all these experts together, and they're going to teach you how to downsize things that you have around the home. They'll share with you information about senior communities in the area and also vendors who can help you to achieve getting top dollar for the sale of your home. Also share what's going on in the real estate market today. But you got to do one thing. You have to respond. That's right. By February 23rd, they need to hear from you that you're going to attend the Moving in the Right Direction event on March 3rd. But you have to do it by February 23rd. And here's the phone number. It's 262-242-6177. That's 262-242-6177. Or just go to brucesteam.com and you can RSVP there. But most importantly, make sure you attend that free event on March 3rd, Moving in the Right Direction at Berner Botanical Gardens.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
It's time to check in with Timothy Gibbons. He's the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And, you know, over the last couple of weeks, we've talked a little bit about Rockwell Automation. And there's another story that broke, and this is good news for the area.
It is. So we've talked about this over the past couple of weeks when Rockwell had first announced plans for just investing in their facilities overall, and then they said some of those investments might be in southeast Wisconsin. And the news that broke this week was basically confirming that New Berlin would be the site of the company's new 1 million square foot plant. Now, Business Journal readers will already know that it was going to be New Berlin because we had sources telling us that a couple weeks ago, but now it's official, and it's a big thing for the area. We're talking about lot of jobs, a lot of investment that will play out there.
So how many jobs might we be talking about?
So that still is a little bit up in the air, but the important thing is that the company is describing this as the factory of the future. It basically is very cutting edge, very much relying on that skilled high-tech manufacturing workforce in the area. So the exact number of jobs hasn't been revealed yet, but the city is very much touting this as economic growth, job creation, giving a economic shot in the arm to the area.
All right, let's move on. Of course, today is that big game, and it's the last football game of the season. So our thoughts are turning to baseball, Tim, and let's turn to American Family Field and some work that's being done around there.
Yes. So American Family Field has some big capital improvement projects in the works. What fans are going to see is probably the most visible thing is 12,000 replacement seats. So if you're looking to be comfortable sitting there, of course, I assume most fans are on their feet the entire game just cheering the team on. But 12,000 replacement seats. And then some other stuff. There'll be new in-stadium TV monitors. There's going to be like a public plaza sort of area. So it's just a nice little upgrade for the ballpark there.
What do you mean by a public plaza?
So this is interesting. It's in the design phase. It's scheduled to open in June. It's going to feature a beer garden, a live entertainment stage, a mini golf course, and a play area. So this is a thing across sports where stadium owners are basically looking at what do we need to do to elevate the fan experience. And there's a whole bunch of different things that means, from making it easier to get in and out of the stadium to having entertainment zones around the stadium, and that's something that has been talked about for the baseball grounds. But this is basically, if you're there, you bring your kids, maybe they don't want to sit through an entire baseball game. So you go and you play around the mini golf, or you go and have a beer in the beer garden. So it kind of makes the experience a more elevated thing.
By the way, Tim, who do you pick in the game later on today?
Honestly, and this is betraying where I came from, the Jacksonville Jaguars had their best year ever, and honestly, once they got knocked out, it's just hard to pick a team to root for.
We Packers fans feel the same way. All right, let's move on, because there was a big report that finally came out from the Wisconsin Center District. You are getting some very interesting reactions to all that.
Yeah, so the Wisconsin Center District, which owns the Baird Center, which is how most people know them, but they also own the Miller High Life Theater and UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. And the board of that organization has been looking at what should they do with the land where the arena and the theater sit. Is having those facilities there the best use of the property? So the report came back from the consultants basically saying that the arena should be invested in and kept, but that the theater should be torn down and a hotel should replace it. And that sounds a little bit controversial on the face of it, but once you start talking to people, they kind of lose their minds. There's so many different angles here and different pushback. The big hotel leaders, including companies that are based here but operate on a much bigger footprint like Marcus Corporation, they look around and say the industry really hasn't recovered post-COVID, and they don't want to see more hotel rooms brought into the market. The operator who books acts into Miller High Life Theater has very strongly come out explaining that this is the only 4,000-seated theater in the state, and that new entrants to the market like the Landmark Credit Union live venue doesn't have the same sort of thing, that you need a 4,000-seated theater to bring in acts like Cirque du Soleil. So those people are pushing back. The Wisconsin Center District has not made a decision yet, but they are studying it, they say, and hope to have a decision made by May. So it will be fascinating to see how that path goes forward.
And is there any news about the head of the Wisconsin Center District?
There is nothing more than we talked about last week, although that controversy obviously is playing out in the background of all of this. Just to recap without going too deep, there's some allegations against the head of the Wisconsin Center District, and they were investigated. That didn't lead to anything on a legal front, but they are continuing to discuss it as an organization, and the timing of having that controversy play out at the same time as these big decisions being made probably is not the best thing that the organization would like.
It just sounds like it's complicating everything.
A little bit, yep.
All right, we're talking with Tim Gibbons. He is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Hey, everybody likes things that are free, and if you're an entrepreneur, you can get free rent. Tell us about that story.
This is a fascinating little economic development sort of thing that's being done in South Milwaukee, but it's kind of being spearheaded by the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. They have a student group that works on a thing called Renew Towns. It's basically a way of trying to spur development, particularly in downtown areas. So they've done this project in a couple of different communities, and now they're doing it in South Milwaukee. A bunch of entrepreneurs applied to the program. 9 of them were picked, and what's going to happen is the public can vote on which of these entrepreneurs should get free rent in one of two downtown sites in that community. The sites operated as bars for a while, but they've been shut down for years. And so now you have a bunch of different ideas. And this is one of the reasons I love covering business. There's so many fascinating businesses out there. So it's a new and used bookstore, a company focused on reptiles, a co-working cafe, a record lounge, restaurants, breweries, a rehab center. So a bunch of different options that are looking to get a year of free rent to go into one of these stores and make a go of it.
It should be interesting to watch, especially if the place with the reptiles moves in. And finally, Tim, let's talk about housing. And it's all happening in Oconomowoc this week.
Yeah, this is a big plan. So the Pabst Farm community has been under development forever and is really hitting its stride in terms of what is planned there. So the news this week is 400 housing units are planned at the Pabst Farm development as they're continuing to fill in the site there. That community is going to be called, the mixed-use area is called Harvest at Pabst Farm. So they're basically developing 210 acres that are both in Oconomowoc and in the village of Summit. And part of that's going to be for these 400 housing units, which includes about 50 or so single-family homes and like 340 multifamily units. So hitting different price points, hitting people at different stages of their life, and really helping to address that need for more housing units.
Well, Tim, you had a lot of stories this week. Can't thank you enough for joining us.
I appreciate it, and stay warm out there.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Well, we're coming up to 8:32, and we've got Liz Littman in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. What's going on this hour?
Thanks, Libby. The Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt has reopened after a 2-day closure. Egyptian state media said that the move on Sunday allowed limited Palestinian travel. The crossing opened last week for the first time since 2024. It was a key part of the U.S.-backed ceasefire. Egyptian media reported Palestinians began crossing around noon. Israel hasn't confirmed this. The United Nations says that 36 Palestinians needing medical care and 62 companions were allowed to leave Egypt over the first 4 days. Nearly 20,000 people in Gaza seek to leave for medical care. The crossing's reopening is part of a fragile ceasefire deal between Israel. 4 people, including 3 former Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee employees, have been indicted on 15 federal charges after a years-long embezzlement scheme. Prosecutors allege that Finance Director Brandy Ellis and CFO Jason Flanders issued unauthorized checks to themselves and third parties on the nonprofit's bank accounts. Ellis was also accused of using the nonprofit's credit cards to make personal purchases. In total, the 4 people involved allegedly embezzled nearly $2 million from the nonprofit. If convicted on all charges, each person faces up to 55 years in prison. Wisconsin's largest school district lays out its priorities for its next budget. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselli has placed the focus on students, including limiting elementary class sizes to 28 students and investing more into the district-wide implementation of the literacy plan. The district would also move principals to 12-month contracts and freeze non-essential hiring and services. The latest financial audits for the district show an estimated $46 million budget gap. MPS hopes to reduce that imbalance by June 30th to reduce the need for future cuts. We are taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We are still seeing that crash. The right lane is closed on I-94 heading eastbound near American Family Field. It's also closed heading westbound, right lane closed as well. Other than that, though, no major incidents, and that's not causing any major delays.
Traffic is sponsored by Rejuvenix Arthritis Pain Clinics. Go to rejuvenix.com for an appointment.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, partly cloudy, high of 30. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 38. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 40. Right now in Madison, it's 21. In Green Bay, it's 18. In Waukesha, 23. And in Milwaukee, it is 25 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Lintonen. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:36.
And in just 2 minutes, it's the Week in Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Off the medication and feeling so much better. Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. One of my fellow patients, Tiara, she suffered from severe neuropathy, that's tingling and numbness in the extremities. She tried everything, finally sought care at Connect Chiropractic, and months in, her nervous system is in better sync. She's dropped 2 medications, including some heavy painkillers, because Connect Chiropractic is treating the source of the problem, not the symptoms. In Delafield, Wauwatosa, and Oak Creek, go connectchiro.com.
Earn now, spend later at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Now through February 11th, rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store. Redeemable just like cash, February 19th to March 4th. Start earning today on Easy Heat Premium Wood Fuel Pellets, just $4.99 a bag. 1-pound bags of Blaine's brand chocolate peanuts, $3.99. And 5 quarts of Blaine's full synthetic motor oil, just $19.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later just like cash, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
And welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. So this week there was a sudden kidnapping. The Greek Freak stays. And the big game is on the horizon. There's a lot more, too. It's a Week in Review. Brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
This year, we are doing rhinos.
Okay, that's the rhino.
According to the internet, that's
Are you hungry, Vince? There's a town hall in Milwaukee tonight focused on the possibility of a major immigration and customs enforcement operation in Milwaukee.
If it can happen in the land of 10,000 lakes, our neighbors next door, it can happen here in Wisconsin.
Milwaukee County board members are scrambling to approve a new health insurance contract because of a major mistake.
The pension scandal is before my time. I'm not going to be a part of a healthcare scandal, I'll tell you that right now.
Bad Bunny won the night's biggest award, the Grammy for Album of the Year.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans.
It takes a lot to get up there and say what you got to say with the platform that's given to you. And you just knew it was coming.
Current Lieutenant Governor, current candidate for governor, Sierra Rodriguez, released her new plan for attacking how expensive healthcare is.
I know how complicated it is, and I know how broken it is. What I would encourage my Republican colleagues to do is to listen to their constituents.
A student at UW-Madison has the measles, and it's possible 4,000 people were exposed to the infected student.
95% of the student population is already vaccinated against measles.
Nancy Guthrie, she of course is the mom of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
Her whereabouts are still a mystery.
Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at. We are following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you.
I want to be a Milwaukee Buck until I retire and win the championship here. End of sentence. Those are the words of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And
You're reading this as he doesn't want to be the bad guy if he ends up getting traded.
I read it more as him reminding everybody that, like, hey, I effing love it here.
Sure. Our own Brian Stile, congressman, has now introduced the MEGA Act, Make Elections Great Again.
You cannot win with your ideas. The only way you can win is to rig the elections, and that is by suppressing the vote.
They treat curling just like it's a real sport.
Yes, we are off and running. The Olympic Games officially underway.
I feel like I would like to practice a little curling with a broom in my kitchen, like
Curling, like you said, has quite the good longevity as far as how long you can play it at a high level.
We have a crisis in our state. It's an organ donation crisis.
The number one reason we see people removing themselves from the registry in Wisconsin is because of misconceptions about health care.
Organ donation and transplantation allowed me to receive a heart and to live an amazing life.
Green's going to have to put up a contested three, and he sinks it with a hand in his face. And this one is in the books. Milwaukee survives.
A new pursuit policy for the Milwaukee Police Department. Vehicle speed no longer enough to justify a chase.
Ensuring that we are making people accountable for the behaviors they have on our road, but also recognizing that there is a level of dangerousness. It's a balancing act.
Hilton, sold out. The Mark, sold out. Doubletree, sold out. Happening today is Fur Squared.
Lobby filled with animal lookalikes.
It's just a way to be a part of something bigger. You can dress up. You can be who you want. You know, as a trans person, that's why it resonates a lot with the LGBT community.
So shortly after the trade deadline passed, Giannis posted this.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
He's not going anywhere. Let's hope it stays that way.
Why don't you just tell me the score of the
Super Bowl?
We had a tight timeline this morning, Tosh.
Everything tells you Seattle should win. Something just tells me when everything goes one way in this business, be aware of the other way. I'm pulling for Elliott Wolf and Mike Vrabel, and I think New England finds a way to get it done.
What a week, eh?
What a week.
Your microphone wasn't on when you said that.
Oh, okay, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that is the Week in Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. If you want to hear it again, text the word week to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620. It's 8:43. We have 24 degrees at WTMJ coming up. You know, Valentine's Day is Saturday, and a lot of you guys, I'm just going to put it on you, you wait till the last minute to get the gifts. Well, be careful if you do it. And Michelle Ryan, our consumer expert, has the reason why right after this.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem, and I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
If you've been dreaming about refreshing a room or maybe your whole house, Steinhoffels can make it so much easier. Their Decorating Solutions program pairs you with a designer who listens, gets your style, and helps create a space you truly love. They can help with colors, layouts, furniture, even those little finishing touches that make a room feel truly unique. It's easy, it's personal, and it makes a huge difference. So if you're ready to love your home even more, check out Steinhoffel's Decorating Solutions.
I should have bought you flowers.
Well, it's Valentine's Day this week, and our hearts are turning to our loved ones. And what if we wait until the last minute to get a gift? You might just click on something online and, maybe it's not what you hoped for. Joining us to avoid those scams is our consumer expert from DATCAP, Michelle Reinen. And Michelle, it usually happens at the last minute, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And a lot of consumers want to get their loved one a gift, and often it involves flowers or some food product during Valentine's Day, and they want to do business with a local business, especially dealing with fresh flowers, because it's a time-sensitive delivery. And there are many postings out there that are trying to deceive consumers that indicate they are local to your community when really they're not. They're just affiliating themselves with a name that makes you think that they're local.
So what are some of the signs we look for to make sure we are dealing with a reliable local business?
Well, some companies misrepresent that physical location to solicit the business in the area, and they often make money by charging consumers for more. So they place an order and then they pocket the extra money because they'll just call the local business. You can see things like the name mentioned, but they won't have a physical location. You won't see business hours that are specific. There won't be any follow-up should you have product concerns. So run an internet search for the business to find local reviews. Check if there's multiple websites are listed for the business you are thinking of using. That could indicate that it is a scammer out there. And then again, contact the business directly and ask them what their local hours are and when they're open should you want to come in and see their inventory.
And finally, if you think you're being taken advantage of, who do we call?
Contact DADCAP's Consumer Protection Hotline at 800-422-7128.
It's 25 degrees at 8:46, but it feels like it's 11. We'll have your forecast right after this on WTMJ.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
What does meaningful giving really look like? Join Annex Wealth Management for our Women in Wealth series, Giving from the Heart, where purpose meets tax planning, on February 19th in Brookfield. Enjoy dinner, refreshments, and an engaging evening on giving with intention. Hear from a local panel of nonprofit leaders as they explore today's philanthropic trends, smart charitable strategies, and how your giving can reflect your values and legacy.
Hi, I'm Maggie Tate-Techman, Executive Director at Haws. I hope to see you on February 19th. Reserve your spot on the events page at annexwealth.com.
There's a little bit of snow overnight, but that's over now. We're going to see a few clouds today. We've got a high of 30 degrees tomorrow. Mostly cloudy. We're going to reach 38 on tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we should see about 40 degrees plus a few clouds. Thursday, that temperature is going to drop again. Our high is only going to be 30 degrees. Currently, it's 24 in Tosa. Franklin is 23. Port Washington's at 25. And here at WTMJ, 25 degrees, but that wind chill is still out there. Feels like 11. Coming up next, it's Sandy Max with Sunday What's on Tap. What commercials will you be watching today? Well, she'll tell you all about it right after this.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care switched from a previous vendor to business technology from James Imaging Systems. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. It's not just all about the money. We're getting value here as well.
Robert Prang, CIO with Tri-City National Bank, likes the fact that James Imaging is local.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
And Junior Achievement of Wisconsin VP of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, had this advice for others.
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. When you want to see more of Europe, Princess Cruises delivers. With Princess Cruises and Fox World Travel, explore iconic Mediterranean ports by day, then relax in classic comfort by night. From immersive shore excursions to destination-inspired dining, every moment is designed to feel effortless. Ready to set sail on your Mediterranean adventure? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book your European getaway.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, it's time to check in with Sandy Max with Sunday What's on Tap. And Sandy, it is a big day if you want to watch commercials on TV. And, you know, the surprise is gone on a lot of these because they've been teasing them all for weeks.
I know it's changed because it used to be must-see TV in that real sense. You would be quiet during the commercials because it was the reveal for each one. But I feel like a lot of them are already online. If you've heard whispers about George Clooney in his very first Super Bowl spot, or a really fun one that I like, Neil Diamond instead of Neil Diamond, where Andy Samberg is kind of a Mike Sardina type character, a Hugh Jackman type character, all around this diner singing about mayonnaise, and instead of Sweet Caroline, sweet sandwich time. It's kind of like one of those SNL digital shorts. That's one of my favorites that I found online a couple of weeks ago. But that's just it, a couple of weeks ago. So you can see a lot of these. But Libby, there's one that is doing a really good job at a reveal. It's Dunkin' Donuts. It's Jennifer Aniston and Matt LeBlanc and Jason Alexander are all on a couch. And you've got Ben Affleck with his thick Massachusetts accent and kind of a weird dental work lisp, but talking to them about this commercial that he directed with them in it, and it's cringe, and I promised that I destroyed them all because Jennifer Aniston saying, no one can see this. No one can see this. And then he's like, well, I told you I destroyed them all, but there's one left. So we're going to see whatever this comedic Dunkin' Donuts commercial is. I think that's one of the few that has really held on to the reveal during the Super Bowl, because I did dig around. I didn't find anything.
Well, it seems like Ben Affleck is making a whole career of doing commercials for Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, if it pays well, that's all right with me. I understand that. As a working actor, I understand that. But you've also got Sabrina Carpenter. She's driving around in a car with a man made of Pringles, and she is one of the it girls of this time, you know, with all of her Grammy nominations and performances, and she keeps popping up on Saturday Night Live. And another fun one that is online.
And she was on with the Muppets the other night,
Yes, that's what I mean. She's an it gal. She's really riding this wave. She was singing with the chickens on the Muppets. I saw that.
I loved it. What are the other ones that you're looking forward to?
You know what? There is a commercial that I think is going to do a good job at entertaining multiple generations, and I think you'll actually remember what it's for. Xfinity, the internet company, they have reimagined Jurassic Park, taking scenes from the very first Jurassic Park movie with Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and then imagining what that Jurassic Park experience would have been like if they'd actually had working Wi-Fi at the time, and how it turns into this amusement park, and Sam Neill taking selfies with the T-Rex over his shoulder, and Laura Dern jogging, and Jeff Goldblum totally being Jeff Goldblum and his chaos theory. So I think that is really going to translate and look great on people's big screen TVs and really deliver for the generation that remembers seeing them in the first place, these Jurassic Park movies, and the generations that continue to watch it. So I think that one will work. And you're a Guy Fieri fan, aren't you?
Oh, sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
You might see him transform. There's a commercial that I think also has not been leaked yet. You know, he's known for his spiky blonde hair and his sunglasses. He's sitting in the director's chair, and you hear this buzz. And it's a commercial for Bosch, who does all the appliances and grooming kits. And it looks like they're going to shave his head, and we're going to see what Guy Fieri looks totally made over as a brunette, as a normal dude.
Oh, that should be funny. Well, one other one that I've been wondering about, I don't know if you saw the viral photograph about a week ago of William Shatner in a car eating cereal.
Raisin Bran.
And people were saying, why is that out there? Yes. Again, another tease for a big commercial coming up.
And, he's one of those performers who is truly a performer. He has a great sense of humor and leans into everything that he does. So expect to see William Shatner talking about fiber time during a Raisin Bran commercial.
Well, and another one that we've seen a lot of so far is the one with Benson Boone and Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
It's almost like we've already seen that one, but they're saying it's leading up to a big reveal.
Interesting that all of these advertisers, because it's so expensive, what's it up to $7 or $8 million for a commercial now during the Super Bowl? You don't just spend it all on that one commercial. You build a campaign around it. So I think a lot of these commercials are built for bigger social media campaigns so they can extend beyond the buzz of Sunday afternoon. And if there is no buzz after Sunday afternoon, because we're getting just slammed with celebrities. We've already talked about a dozen of them or so. Kurt Russell and Louis Pullman are in a commercial together. Scarlett Johansson, John Hamm, and Bowen Yang in a Ritz commercial together. Then you've got the other commercials that are going to pull on the heartstrings. The Clydesdales are back, Libby.
Oh, I love the Clydesdales.
So it's going to be interesting to see what survives as far as what everybody's talking about on Monday morning. But even if your Sofia Vergara Skechers commercial isn't a hit, you've still got the video to use on social media,
And I know a couple weeks ago we talked about the halftime performer, Bad Bunny.
See.
And, is he going to bring out some celebrities during that halftime show? But let's not forget, because there is a political influence here, that there's going to be an alternate halftime show in case you're not a Bad Bunny fan.
And it was announced immediately last fall when Bad Bunny was announced as the official Super Bowl halftime show performer. It was the Turning Point USA organization, the conservative group, that said, hey, you know what? We don't like this. We're going to do our own halftime show. And they even put up a crowdfunding website, if you remember. And it was like faith, family, freedom, and football. And we're going to put on a better Super Bowl halftime show. And I'll tell you, Libby, I remembered our conversation and I sniffed around last week and there wasn't anything about it. Until just a few days ago, Kid Rock and country stars Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. Those are your performers. Still don't know the venue, but you can watch the alternate halftime show on the Turning Point USA social media accounts, and there are a handful of streaming platforms, but not like the big ones like Hulu, like ones you'd recognize. But if you're a Turning Point USA fan, if you go to their Facebook page, there's one poster and it has all the details there. But I think it's interesting that it did not create the demand and buzz that I think they certainly expected that it would.
Well, it doesn't sound like they got the A-list performers they had hoped for either. All right, one last question, because this is the one day of the year that we all gather around the TV to watch commercials, and they can't fit all of them into just the actual game. So what time today are all of the festivities for the Super Bowl going to start, and when are we going to start seeing those commercials?
Well, Peacock is the place to start streaming just before 3 o'clock at 2:50. Teddy Swim's Super Bowl tailgate performance will be on Peacock. But then live on NBC, 5 o'clock is when the opening ceremony starts. Green Day, Charlie Puth, who will be singing the national anthem. Brandi Carlile, she's going to sing America the Beautiful. And Coco Jones has been chosen to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is considered the Black national anthem. That will be both live on NBC and on Peacock. And then 5:30 is when Super Bowl 60 starts.
Okay, one last question for you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Do you like your chicken wings with the flats or the ones that look like the little drumsticks?
I am not a wing eater. I pass altogether.
Oh, no!
They're too barbaric for me. I don't like getting my hands messy. I'm a potato chip gal. Just set me in the corner with a bag of potato chips and I'm happy.
Oh.
Which way do you roll
Or
with your
Pringles.
wings?
I'm definitely all flats.
Well, have a great Super Bowl. Or Puppy Bowl, whichever way you roll.
Puppy Bowl's my favorite. All right, and then what are you going to have on What's on Tap this week?
Next Act Theater makes their season announcement tomorrow, so they'll be in sharing those details. And with Black History Month, there's a great art gallery and framing store in Sherman Park called Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing. And the owner and one of the artists is going to come in and join me and talk about the art scene in Sherman Park.
Oh, can't wait to hear it. We'll be listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max. Thanks for joining us this morning, Sandy.
Thanks, Libby.
And coming up after the news, we've got the host of Green Bay Game Day, Alex Strofe, joining us with predictions about today's big game. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Wisconsin homes ask a lot of their windows and doors. They need to be ready for anything year-round. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, everything we do is built around quality and durability. You shouldn't have to make compromises to ensure you're comfortable at home. So right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 4 years. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free Design Works rendering. From design to installation, Pella's local experts are there to guide you every step of the way, helping you choose the right options for your home, your style, and your budget. Thanks to 0% financing for up to 4 years and our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your decision long after installation day. PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 2/28/2026.
If you want to add a unique and stunning feature to your home, decorative art glass can be used in a variety of ways to really increase its wow factor. Think of adding a wonderful work of stained glass art to some of your exterior windows, foyer, or front door entry. We can make sure the measurements fit spot on, and you don't even have to replace the glass. You can just add the art glass over the top. It will add some real ambiance that changes as the sun moves throughout the day. And a paint of protection too, which never hurts. Our decorative glass artists are delightful to work with, and they just might give you some ideas that you love, but never even thought of. There's so much of the same out there. Adding a customized work of stained glass art to one or more of your home's windows can really set it apart. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 26 degrees here in Milwaukee. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 30. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 38. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Elizabeth Lintonen. The family of Nancy Guthrie says they are willing to pay her abductors. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie pleaded for her mom to be returned to the family in a new video. News Nation's Nancy Liu.
The new video message, yet another heartbreaking thing to see and hear, with Savannah Guthrie speaking directly to the person or persons who've kidnapped her mother.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace.
Sheriff's deputies were back at Nancy Guthrie's house not long after that video release.
Law enforcement was also seen at the home of Savannah's sister, Annie Guthrie, several miles away. Starting tomorrow, lawmakers will have access to unredacted versions of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. News Nation's Tom Dempsey.
Tomorrow here in Washington, D.C. at the Department of Justice headquarters, any congressional lawmaker will be able to review these unredacted files related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. No electronic devices will be able to be brought inside, but they can take notes as they're going over these documents. In total, the DOJ has released over 3 million files related to the investigation.
The latest batch of documents released by the DOJ included several unverified claims connected to President Trump, as well as emails showing Epstein corresponding with billionaires Bill Gates and Elon Musk. New safety technology is starting to roll out in Milwaukee public schools. The updated metal detectors will allow students to keep their backpacks on while walking through security. MPS Emergency Operations Manager Kevin Hafman tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
And what we kept on here and what the superintendent heard is kids want to be safe. They want to go to school and be safe, but they don't want those long lines. They don't want those intrusive searches, the chaos in the morning. They don't want to take off all the backpacks and things they have. This new technology eliminates all that.
The new technology will be used in MPS middle schools and high schools. It was installed earlier this week at South Division High. Moments into the women's downhill ski final, American Lindsey Vonn suffered a crash and was taken off the mountain by a medical helicopter. CBS News' Seth Duan.
This is Seth Doan with CBS News in Cortina, Italy, standing at the bottom of the slope, looking back up at where Lindsey Vonn just had that terrible crash. We were standing at the time watching her in the venue, in the Olympic venue, and there was such enthusiasm all morning for her. The world was here to watch Lindsey Vonn this morning and saw a devastating turn in this comeback story.
The U.S. ski and snowboard team commented on X that Vonn will be evaluated by medical staff after this fall. Another overnight closure is coming to I-94 as crews make progress on storm sewer work beneath the highway.
Drivers on I-94 will see another overnight closure as crews continue underground work on the west leg of the project. Eric Hansen with the DOT says,
This progress is all underground, so it's not always obvious to the daily commuter, but below the pavement, there's thousands of feet of pipe that's going in.
That work requires a temporary shutdown.
This Friday, if weather cooperates, we do have a full closure of 94 westbound.
The freeway is expected to reopen by Saturday morning. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:05.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks make it to 3 wins in a row at home, beating the Indiana Pacers 105-99 Friday night at the Pfizer Forum. The Bucks get a break before heading back on the road to take on the Orlando Magic Monday night. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. At the moment, it's all clear out there. No major incidents, no major delays.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, partly cloudy, high of 30. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 38. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 40. Right now in Madison, it's 22. In Green Bay, it's 21. In Waukesha, it's 24. And in Milwaukee, it is 26 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Linton in Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 9:08.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
Well, in a lot of circles, Super Bowl Sunday is considered like a national holiday. But here in Wisconsin, we don't really care. because Green Bay's not playing. But joining us is the host of Green Bay Game Day, Alex Strofe. And isn't it true? I mean, aren't we all kind of just going, oh, yeah, there's a football game today. We're the Wings.
Just another year of no Packers, right, Libby? Just another year. 15 years it's been. 15!
Oh, no. Well, nobody saw this coming in August. How did Seattle and New England end up getting this far?
Yeah, it's a really good point by you. New England won 3 games last year. First-year head coach in Mike Vrabel, obviously a former player for them. An unbelievable turnaround. They spent the most money of any team in free agency, a second-year quarterback in Drake May, who saw a second-place voting in the MVP race this year. Quite a turnaround for New England. Seattle's a team that's been in the mix, but only a second-year head coach for them as well. They go out at Sam Darnold in free agency as their quarterback, and another impressive turnaround. So you're absolutely right. Nobody saw it coming, but it was a year full of parity. I feel like you and I were talking about that every Sunday when we would preview the Packers game. The parity was at an all-time high across the NFL this year, and that's why you get 2 teams who really weren't in the mix just a year ago.
Well, it's almost like this is going to be a battle of the quarterbacks. And the way I look at it, and again, you could almost make a movie. You've got like a 23-year-old rookie, right? And he's taking on this gnarled old vet who's bounced around 5 different teams in 8 seasons. I mean, they are the 2 most unlikely quarterbacks to be in a game this big.
Yeah, but it shows you, I think your point on Sam Darnold, the guy that's bouncing around, is, there is talent, but when you get drafted as high as Darnold did to a dysfunctional franchise like the New York Jets, he did, and I think it was 2019 he was drafted, maybe 2018. You go to a dysfunctional organization, you're a young quarterback, the game hasn't slowed down for you yet, and he finally makes it happen. He spends some time in Minnesota with a good quarterbacks coach and their head coach, Kevin O'Connell, last year, and finds a way to turn it around. For Drake May, you're right, second year for him. Rookie year was kind of up and down, and then all of a sudden, somehow this year, he gets Josh McDaniels back, and he's able to piece it together and looks like he could be one of the rising stars in the league.
Have we ever had a quarterback that young play in the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'm sure it's happened. I'd have to think. Joe Burrow was in his second year when the Bengals appeared a few years ago. So I'm sure it's happened. But I guess in terms of actual age, days, and years, I would guess he's got to be one of the youngest. Definitely younger than Favre, Starr, and Rodgers when they first appeared for Green Bay.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. 23. I mean, you're barely out of college at that age, and to be on this field on this day, that would be huge.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and it's been such an impressive season for him. And like I just mentioned, I mean, second place in MVP voting. He only lost by 1 vote, right? Matthew Stafford got 24 first-place votes. Drake May got 23 of them. So really, really impressive for only his second year. And like I just said, Libby, this is a guy who I think we're going to be hearing a lot of him, which I don't know. Where do you stand, Libby? Are you like a Patriots hater because of the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era? Okay, so you don't want to see Drake May become Tom Brady 2.0.
I cannot stand the Patriots. Now, I got a lot of friends who are from, that Boston area, and they are the most they're nice people. But when it comes to football, they are the most obnoxious people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. That makes complete sense, but I got bad news for you because you mentioned 23 years old. He's going to be here to stay for a while, I think. So I think the Patriots, after, what was it, just 6 years off from appearing in just about every Super Bowl, here they are back at it again. So bad news. Your obnoxious friends are only going to be more obnoxious now, I think.
Oh, no kidding. All right, we're talking with Alex Strofe. He is the host of Green Bay Game Day. Aside from the quarterbacks, what other players should be watching for big plays?
Yeah, I think the matchup I've got my eyes on is for Seattle's offense and New England's defense. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, who won Offensive Player of the Year. Just an outstanding season for him, the wide receiver for Seattle. But he's matching up with one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Christian Gonzalez, for New England. He's only in his 3rd season. The Packers drafted Lucas Van Ness over Christian Gonzalez. I'm still not over it. He was my draft crush a couple of years back. But JSN versus Christian Gonzalez, you've got the most productive receiver in the league this year and one of the best receivers in the league at large against one of the best young cornerbacks. So that's the matchup to keep an eye on. Number 11 for Seattle against number 1 for New England.
All right. Do you think either team has an advantage? Or are they pretty evenly matched?
I mean, they're evenly matched, and obviously sports books and odds will tell us, right? Like looking at Potawatomi Sportsbook this morning, Seattle's listed as a 4.5-point favorite. So it's expected to be a close game. It's just Seattle's seen as the better team, and they are more consistent. They looked better in the postseason. New England's offense has struggled throughout the postseason, but luckily they haven't had too terrible of matchups against, they haven't really played a really good offense yet, and Seattle's is better. So I'd say Seattle has an advantage, but it's slight. I mean, you have 2 weeks to prepare. So both of these teams are going to be very prepared and ready to go, and it should be an entertaining close game.
Do you think this will be a lower or high scoring game?
I guess lower. I think both defenses are pretty good, and like I mentioned, New England's offense has struggled so far in the postseason. Jackson Smith and Jigba is such a huge part of that Seattle offense, and this is certainly the best cornerback that he'll be matched up with throughout the postseason. So I would guess it's probably a pretty slow start, and then we get points in the more points in the second half. But I would guess lower scoring, somewhere in like the 24-20, 21-24 type game.
All right, now, this is where I get to put Alex Strofe on the spot.
Here we go.
Who's going to be leading at halftime?
Okay, this is fun. I'm going to say Seattle is leading at halftime.
All right, you said that sort of tentatively.
Yeah, because I was actually thinking, but I don't know what the odds would be. I was going to say it's tied at halftime, but that feels like it's got a lower chance to happen.
Okay, so which team is going to end up being the winner, and what is the final score going to be?
Okay, this is good. I think I'm going to go with one I just gave you. I'm going to say Seattle wins walk-off field goal-ish. So there'll be a couple seconds left on the clock, and New England won't be able to drive down the field in time. I'm going to say 24-21 Seattle.
Okay. All right, we're going to hold you to that. Okay, I like
that.
We've got you on record, but now, what are you going to be doing off season? Because you'll come back hopefully next year for Green Bay Game Day, but you got a good 6 months here before there's football again. What are you going to be up to, Alex?
Well, yeah, I mean, just the normal stuff I'm usually up to. I'll be on the air on ESPN Milwaukee in 50 minutes on Sunday Karma. I'll be producing KBN every weekday afternoon from 2 to 5. We've been talking a lot about Giannis Antetokounmpo this week, so it's actually been nice to talk football for a few minutes.
Well, it's great to have you here, as always. Alex Strofe, host of Green Bay Game Day, and, of course, you can hear him all over the place on ESPN in Milwaukee. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, anytime, Libby. Always good chatting with you. And by the way, I think it's going to be heads on the coin toss. You didn't ask me about that one.
Oh, okay. You know what? Heads. I'm going to write that down in case there's a pool on that one. All right.
There we go.
Have a good day, Strofe. Thanks again. Take care.
Talk to you later, Libby. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. It's 9:16. We have 25 degrees. It feels like it's about 11 degrees. Coming up, we've got Debbie Lazaga, and there's an interesting phenomena that can happen to you when you drive. She's going to tell you about it right after this.
Some pizza places have changed their tune about using real mozzarella cheese, but not Marty's. We use only 100% real mozzarella cheese, and we wouldn't have it any other way, because quality matters. Oh, you can taste the difference. With 100% real mozzarella, there's elasticity. And even when it's cold, it's still delicious. Marty's Pizza, nothing but 100% fresh ingredients and nothing but 100% real mozzarella cheese. We're easy to find at martyspizza.net.
Remember Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
What does meaningful giving really look like? Join Annex Wealth Management for our Women in Wealth series, Giving from the Heart, where purpose meets tax planning, on February 19th in Brookfield. Enjoy dinner, refreshments, and an engaging evening on giving with intention. Hear from a local panel of nonprofit leaders as they explore today's philanthropic trends, smart charitable strategies, and how your giving can reflect your values and legacy.
Hi, I'm Maggie Tate-Techman, Executive Director at Haws. I hope to see you on February 19th. Reserve your spot on the events page at annexwealth.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws sale is here. Now through February 8th. Save on everything pet and wild bird at Fleet Farm. Find great deals on food, treats, and toys for your furry and feathered friends. And hey, the big game is right around the corner, and Fleet Farm is here to help you host a winning game day party. Score deals on snacks, furniture, and must-have cookware. DeWalt deals, those deal days are going on right now at Fleet Farm. Find exclusive savings on trusted power tool combos, accessories, storage, and more. Only in-store at Fleet Farm. The DeWalt deal days now through Sunday, only at Fleet Farm.
It's 9:19. Well, if you think you're in total control when you're driving, you might be a passenger in your own subconscious. Here's Debbie Lazaga.
You've driven this road 1,000 times. Same lane, same speed, same view. And suddenly you're there. No memory of the last few miles. It's not sleep, it's not distraction, it's your brain quietly stepping back while your hands stay on the wheel. This is the world of automaticity, or what we commonly call highway hypnosis. Professor of psychology at Marquette University, Dr. Stephen Guastello, says our brains are actually designed to hand over the controls when things get repetitive.
One thing the executive function does when it knows that the rest of you is doing a relatively simple and repetitive task that you know by heart, it doesn't interfere much with trying to get you to make critical decisions over and over again. And that's what's called automaticity. We do things automatically.
While this saves mental energy, it creates a dangerous zombie zone. Dr. Guastello notes that when we are in this state, we are susceptible to change blindness, where we miss major shifts in our environment because they happen slowly.
If you're staring out the windshield and treating it like a TV set instead of the real world, then yeah, you're going to really miss a lot of things.
But it's not just our own brains we have to worry about. We are also fighting an ancient biological urge to follow the leader. Contributing editor to Road and Track Jack Baruth calls this the unconscious herding instinct.
The core idea behind it is that people aren't doing things deliberately to cause you trouble in traffic. They're doing things because they're taking an action paradigm that is designed for humanity 10,000 years ago.
He found that drivers often speed up simply because you did. Not out of aggression, but because of evolution.
The theory is people behave as unconscious herd animals. How far will they go? And you will have very solid, everyday citizens would never do 90 miles an hour on the freeway, but if they're doing 65 and you pass them doing 70, sometimes they will follow you all the way to 90 and then back down to 70 in 1 mile an hour increments so that they can have the subconscious benefit of being right next to you on the road.
So how do we snap out of it? Dr. Guastello suggests keeping the mind occupied with a podcast or radio, but warns against the safety of new car technology that might actually make us more lax. He argues that no matter how smart the car is, the human must remain the pilot.
We have to stay in control of our own space.
Next time you're on the road, remember, don't just be a passenger in your own car. Pay attention to the subtle changes, break out of the herd, and stay aware of your surroundings. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
When I'm driving, I'm listening to WTMJ, so that helps keep me awake. All right, it is 9:21 on WTMJ. We're going to get up to 30 degrees. It is 25, but it feels a lot colder, like around 12 degrees right now.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
I'm Vince Vetrano, and this is the Sunday Sip. Are you already dipping your toe in or maybe fully involved in a digital marketing campaign, but you don't have a digital strategy? I've got the solution for you this morning. We're joined by Shane Krengle. He is with us as an expert in digital media and marketing, founder and CEO of locally based Margot Media. Good morning, Shane.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, so let's start with this. For folks who are hearing this and hearing the name Margot Media, maybe for the first time, what problem are you seeing out there in the digital marketing space that made you think someone needs to fix this?
Sure, that's a great question. And, I think the big thing, Margot's 9 years old, and ironically, nothing's really changed that much over the years. We thought that a lot more companies would actually be a lot more digitally sound in their marketing efforts by this point in 2026. And the reason we started was to help them develop a strategy and take all those complex things in digital marketing and make it very simple to have a path forward, know exactly what they should or shouldn't be spending their money on. And really, Vince, the biggest thing is to not waste. You can spend a lot of money very fast on digital marketing and get subpar results. And I think that's also why from what I've learned, a lot of businesses have a hard time going back to it if they've had a couple campaigns run that weren't that successful. Is they're like, oh, we tried it once, we did it before, and they weren't wrong in doing it. I just don't know if they had a really strong strategy on how to use their money the best way possible to get good results.
And we're talking with Shane Krengle, Margot Media. Shane, I think that's such an important point because I know a lot of small and medium-sized business owners who, they dabble in that space. They know they need to be there. Maybe we do some social media campaigns or whatever. But that word that you used, strategy, is that why they're not getting the results they want?
Yes. It's funny if you think about it. When would you not have a strategy in business for anything that you do? And then yet, just historically what we see is when it comes to regular marketing, traditional marketing, most companies have a really strong plan. I don't know why. Again, we're in 2026, and companies for some reason still treat digital, even though if we're all being honest, we're on our phones all the time.
Yeah.
We're on streaming services all the time. We're on YouTube all the time. Yet, it's still for some reason treated as like a subpar, just family member that they don't really want around.
It's an afterthought, right?
It's an afterthought. Yeah.
So what should they be focused on?
Well, first of all, knowing exactly what kind of results they want to get. And number two, taking an appreciation that everything starts with awareness to then drive through to a conversion or sale on digital marketing. And most companies that are new and growing, or just even companies that have been around for a while, one of the things that they tend to overlook is we call it cannibalizing. They're running marketing campaigns. They're heavily focused on converting whatever type of marketing efforts they're doing. They're trying to convert the person right away. And they're not starting with, hey, do people even know who we are? Digital is a great way to do that at a very cost-efficient, low price. And then once that awareness is there, then how can we use our strategy to drive them through as a new lead, a new buyer, a new loyalist, whatever you want to call it for your company, and actually have them paying you for your product or service.
Shane Krengle is with us from locally based Margot Media. All right, Shane, a lot of people help in this space, a lot of companies out there. Tell us why Margot Media is the one that folks should want to contact.
Real simple, data-driven. I'm not here to talk about other agencies in a negative way. From day one, though, as a digital marketing agency, I think that's what sets us apart. Again, not to disparage any other type of marketing agency out there. A lot of just marketing, though, in general, is subjective opinion. And you have very talented people that have been doing it a long time, but they tend to go into meetings and strategy with their subjective opinion, and then they give it to someone to handle it digitally. And I'm not trying to overcomplicate this. We start with the data first. Why wouldn't you start with the data to then drive an informative decision on what we create and then put in market? So to put it very simply, digital marketing starts with data and you're not guessing. That means that the dollars you put into market are used at the highest level possible to give you the highest return possible.
All right, give me a freebie, Shane. What's a mistake that you see local businesses making that makes you pound your head? And how can people listening right now, how can they avoid that mistake?
Well, mistake number one, they don't treat it seriously enough. They typically have a marketing plan, but digital just seems to be the afterthought or the maybe we'll get to it at some point. It must be treated as seriously as any other marketing effort. Number two, they don't tie the marketing efforts themselves to sales. You see the segment of sales and marketing not working together.
Mm-hmm.
They should work hand in hand. And the final thing is, I've already nailed it a million times, they don't have a strategy. And a strategy isn't something that's expensive. It's not something that's robust or difficult to do. It's just knowing, having a professional agency like ours tell you and map out for you what you should be doing. Whether you decide to do all of it or not, that's up to you, but you got to have a strategy before you do anything else.
Shane Krengle from Margot Media. All right, Shane, if we got some ears perked up, what's the next step for somebody who's interested?
Next step is to visit our website, marglemedia.com, M-A-R-G-L-E, and on there you'll see a free consultation. On the free consultation, this is not a gimmick. This is not something we're just trying to, get a bunch of names and numbers. We're going to have you then meet with on a Zoom or on a call with our team so that we can provide that free consultation of what we believe the next best steps for you would be. Whether you decide to work with us or not, that's up to you. Of course, selfishly, we do want you to work with us.
Of course.
But we're going to take a look at the blocking and tackling of what should be done, and we're going to provide that to you for free. And ultimately from there, those suggestions should help you get on your way. Again, we'd love to work with you, but when I say free has no value, they typically say. In this case, it does, and all we simply want to do is point you in the right direction.
That's Shane Krengle from Margle Media, M-A-R-G-L-E media.com. I'm Vince Vitrano, and this is the Sunday Sip.
It's 26 degrees at 9:29 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. 40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd. That's a Milwaukee suburb. And 40,000 people are choosing relief without surgery. That bad back, that bulky knee, that hip that keeps barking at you. These people are saying, before you replace my knee or my hip, put my life on hold for 3 months. There has to be another way. And they found it with QC Kinetics. Patients who realize there are other options outside of surgery, and they're moving better thanks to QC Kinetics and its advanced regenerative treatments. We've learned that surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics activates your body's natural healing power. It's safe, it's natural, and best of all, non-surgical. So before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics 414-667-5559. The consultation is free. 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
We're coming up to 9:32, and we've got Liz Linton in the WTMJ Breaking News Center, and you got more about that guy who was arrested for stealing the police car in Tosa. Liz, let's hear more about it.
I sure do, Libby. New information this afternoon on a police chase earlier this week through Wauwatosa involving a stolen police car on Tuesday. Giante Dixon of Racine now faces 10 total charges across multiple municipalities, including carjacking and recklessly endangering safety. Dixon was already wanted and linked to an earlier chases and a domestic violence incident that same morning. As officers tried to stop him, the suspect jumped into an empty squad car and took off, knocking officers to the ground. Dixon made his initial court appearance yesterday morning. Wisconsin's largest school district lays out its priorities for the next budget. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselli has placed the focus on students, including limiting elementary class sizes to 28 students and investing more into the district-wide implementation of the literacy plan. The district would also move principals to 12-month contracts and freeze non-essential hiring and services. The latest financial audits for the district show an estimated $46 million budget gap. MPS hopes to reduce that imbalance by June 30th to reduce the need for future cuts. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. At the moment, all clear out there. No major incidents, no major delays.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third shift cleaners. You'll make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week.
Your WTMJ forecast today, partly cloudy, high of 30. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild, high of 38. Right now, in Madison, it's 24. In Muskego, it's 25. And in Milwaukee, it is 26 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Lintonen, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:34.
Thanks a lot, Liz. Coming up in just 2 minutes, we are going to be talking with a woman whose father and uncle were both shot down during World War II. It's a fascinating story. You can hear it right after this on WTMJ.
Real James Imaging Systems clients. You've heard them right here on the radio for years. For instance, Chris Willems, office manager with Previan Law Firm.
I like the fact that the company is local and I can always get a hold of my representative who I have on speed dial or I have a cell phone.
Then there's James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark, who oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors.
If I do need service, they're here almost within 4 hours every time. I've never had an issue where I'm like, where is that guy?
James Imaging Systems business technology client Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services at Junior Achievement of Wisconsin.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. To learn more, visit jamesimaging.com.
This President's Day, settle into comfort and enjoy the savings at Steinhoffel's. For a limited time, receive at least 10% off store-wide, along with special President's Day pricing on beautifully designed furniture and mattresses. And for the ultimate in luxury sleep, test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress, and you could win a relaxing getaway to Hawaii. Elevate your home with timeless style, exceptional comfort, and exclusive savings, only during the President's Day sale at Steinhoffel's. You can shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
And welcome back to the final half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 9:36. There were a number of heroes in World War II, but there were two in particular that our next guest knew personally and also writes about in her book called The Navigator's Letter. Joining us is Jan Kress-Dondi. And Jan, tell us exactly who was involved in these missions and why you decided to write about them.
So this is the full story of the U.S. campaign to destroy the Hitler's fuel supply at Ploiești, Romania, from Operation Tidal Wave through later high-altitude missions and culminating in Operation Reunion, which was the largest evacuation by air in history, escorted by the Tuskegee Airmen flying cover overhead. But at its heart, it's much more than a military history. It's a deeply human story told through the eyes of John B. and Bob, my father and my uncle. They were friends from a same small town, and they both became B-24 navigators. They led their bomb groups into combat, and both were forced down over the same Ploesti oil fields months apart. It's a story of American courage and sacrifice, of duty and love, and of innocence irrevocably lost.
Let's talk about those men on the B-24s and how important they were to our efforts in Europe during World War II.
So in January 1943, President Roosevelt, FDR, and Prime Minister Churchill met in Casablanca to plan the strategy for the coming years, including D-Day and some of the other big operations. But one of the operations was to take out Hitler's oil fields, because tanks don't roll, ships don't sail, airplanes don't fly without fuel. And so they knew that his primary source was at Ploesti, Romania. Hitler also knew that one day America would go after it, and he fortified it second only to Berlin. So it was probably the most feared target in Europe, second to Berlin.
Well, the War College even said these missions were some of the bloodiest and most heroic of all time, not just World War II.
Right. Just to let you know what it's like to be in a bomber going over a target. First, it's freezing cold up there. It can get to minus 60, and they have open waste windows where the machine guns, the gunners, shoot their machine guns down at enemy fighters. So you've got breezing air coming through. There's flak, time to altitude, when you're over the target, and flak is exploding shards of metal, and they couldn't avoid these. The Germans timed them to their altitude, so they would have to endure the concussions. They couldn't move because their formation was very tight. They had a plane right on their wing, so they couldn't avoid these. A direct hit from flak could put a plane down. Then there was, as they left the target, there were enemy fighters that were shooting to kill. They had 20-millimeter guns, and they were flying at twice the speed of the bombers. And when the fighters penetrated the thin skin of the bomber, fires on board would start because they'd break a hydraulic line or an oxygen line. So not only were these guys fighting the enemy, they were fighting the fires on board. It was fearsome. Just to be up in the air, it was a scary thing. And these guys did it amazingly.
And both your uncle and your father were shot down in these missions. What happened to them once their planes were out of commission?
So their planes were shot down, and then they went missing in action for a long time. And my father became a POW, and my uncle went missing in action for a long time. My uncle went missing a few months before my father. My father did everything he could to find him. I mean, he would ask all the Air Force personnel, what are they doing to try to find him? So it was sort of a search for Bob until Bob was shot down. And you'll have to read the story to understand what happened after that.
That's a nice tease, Jan. The book is called The Navigator's Letter. One last question for you. Now, you actually flew in one of the only two B-24 Liberators that are still operating?
Yes, and I know Milwaukee is a big airplane mecca because Oshkosh is just up the road from you guys. But I wanted to see what it was like to fly in a B-24. Now, this one was 70 years old, but we only went to 2,000 feet, so we didn't get to altitude, really. But the breeze that flowed through was unbelievable, and it was in Florida, so it was warm breeze, but nonetheless, it was noisy, it was loud. The navigator had to crawl to the nose through a tunnel, and he had to go back and forth from the cockpit to the nose throughout the whole travel to tell the pilot, you need to turn here, you need to do this. They had communications through a headset, but he still had to go back and forth. So it was very cool for me to fly in it, but I tried to imagine being a 20-year-old flying this with flak and fire and enemy fighters. And I just can't imagine a 20-year-old. My children are now 30, and at 20, it's beyond belief what these boys went through.
Well, your story, again, is a true story. The book is called The Navigator's Letter, the true story of two World War II airmen, a doomed mission, and the woman who bound them together. Jan Crestandi, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. And I'm going to be at Boswell's on Thursday, February 12th at 6:30 if anybody's interested. I know you're in Milwaukee, so I hope to see your listeners at Boswell's.
Thanks for letting us know, Jan. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
And anybody who is interested in World War II history, that would be a not-to-miss event. It is 9:41 on WTMJ. We have 26 degrees, but it feels a lot colder than that. It's like feeling like 12. Ooh, it's a chilly morning around Wisconsin.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, Gene Miller here. The heart of winter is the best time to call my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating and cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from brands like Pella, Anderson, Marvin, and more. Hometown is your local source for wood, vinyl, or fiberglass, plus all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Stop into their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
And it's 9:44. Well, Dr. Toby Campbell is a professor in hematology, medical oncology, and palliative care at the Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. He talked with me about the increase of lung cancer diagnosis in Wisconsin and some of the things that are causing it.
Are you seeing more radon-associated lung cancers here than you would if, say, you were in Florida or Southern California?
It's hard to know a specific cause in an individual person, but I have a number of patients who, after developing lung cancer, then have their basements tested to discover that their radon levels are sky high. So that has occurred in a number of my patients, presumably then being the cause of their lung cancer. So certainly it happens. It's not common. I think people are aware of radon, but the more we can do to elevate people's awareness that this is a colorless, odorless gas that you cannot detect, then you can take care of the problem.
And Dr. Campbell is not only taking care of patients and doing research, he's also spent the past 2 years following individuals involved with organ transplants. He talks to them and interviews them for his podcast, and he told me about when most of these organ transplants take place and why at this hour.
What about the medical professionals who hold the responsibility of harvesting these organs? What sort of things did you discover about them?
I interviewed a recovery specialist who'd been doing it for 25 years or so, David Grant. Most of the work of recovering organs happens in the middle of the night because they want the transplant surgery to go during the day, which means that the organs need to be recovered overnight. David Grant and his colleagues and people like him are often driving or flying in the middle of the night to go to remote places wherever the donor happens to be to conduct these surgeries. On the trip that I went on, they were just this oiled machine of a team that when we got there, they all split up. They knew what they were doing. This team is going to go meet with the donor family and the ICU, and this team is going to go get the OR ready, and remarkably effective team.
And you can hear more from Dr. Toby Campbell about subjects ranging from how a doctor prepares to tell a patient that their condition is terminal, to why many patients refuse things like palliative care, and also the race to get donor organs surgically implanted into recipients before it's too late. That's all today on WTMJ Conversations, getting underway at 11 o'clock this morning. I'm Libby Collins. It's 9:47, 26 degrees. We're going to tell you your forecast for the next couple days right after this.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion,
and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at capricommunities.com.
A lot of people had some of that very light snow overnight, but that seems to be over. We're going to see temperatures today around 30 degrees for a high, kind of cloudy out there. Then tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, and we'll get up to 38. On Tuesday, we're going to get all the way up to 40 degrees and still some clouds out there. Thursday, that temperature will drop again with a high only of 30 degrees. Currently, we're looking at temperatures in Richfield, 24 degrees. Brookfield has 25. Oconomowoc at 25. And at WTMJ, it is 26 degrees, but it feels like a chilly 12 degrees.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author and founder of the Neal Group. Well, here we are. It's 2026. Remember last year when you said never again? Did it work? You didn't start your business to spend so much time doing bank reconciliations, cash flow projections, or inventory analysis. Let us help you keep your New Year resolution to stay on top of your finances and keep your books up to date. Don't do the same thing this year and expect different results. Start the year off on the right foot by calling the Neal Group to help you understand your numbers and make them better. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call 414-325-2040 now to set up a meeting to see how you can make 2026 the best year ever. The first meeting is free. That's 414-325-2040 or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. When you want to see more of Europe, Princess Cruises delivers. With Princess Cruises and Fox World Travel, explore iconic Mediterranean ports by day, then relax in classic comfort by night. From immersive shore excursions to destination-inspired dining, every moment is designed to feel effortless. Ready to set sail on your Mediterranean adventure? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book your European getaway.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws sale is here. Now through February 8th. Save on everything pet and wild bird at Fleet Farm. Find great deals on food, treats, and toys for your furry and feathered friends. And hey, the big game is right around the corner, and Fleet Farm is here to help you host a winning game day party. Score deals on snacks, furniture, and must-have cookware. DeWalt deals, those deal days are going on right now at Fleet Farm. Find exclusive savings on trusted power tool combos, accessories, storage, and more. Only in-store at Fleet Farm. The DeWalt deal days now through Sunday, only at Fleet Farm.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
I'm Vince Vitrano, and this is the Sunday Sip. We're joined now by the founder and managing attorney of Access Legal, Alex Eichhorn. Hi, Alex. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me, Vince.
So, Access Legal, your area of expertise, you focus on workers' compensation suits. So, just to get us going here, I think when we hear workers' comp, a lot of us think of the big accident at work, a fall or some piece of equipment malfunctioning. That is not necessarily the case for many of your clients.
Yeah, we certainly help with a ton of acute incidents where, it is the thing falling on them or someone bending over and their back's blown out. But really the focus of this campaign is to
help those who are worn down by work. And what that really means is someone who's been working in an environment where it's physically tasking or repetitive, and over time their back, their hips, their knees, or whatever it may be is worn down. And they're 55 now, and they're told by their doctor, hey, I need a hip replacement, or I need a shoulder replacement, or I need a shoulder surgery. And oftentimes the doctors do ask, what kind of work are you doing? Is this something that your work could have contributed? But a lot of times they don't. So one of the main goals of this campaign is really inform workers that if their body is worn down by years, whether it be decades or years of physical labor, that they can have a compensable claim, that this is covered by Wisconsin workers' compensation.
So, Alex, what are some of the biggest mistakes like a potential client might make, if they're feeling exactly what you're saying, worn down by work? What are the mistakes they make before reaching out to you?
Yeah, it's tough to pinpoint the exact moment when someone who is worn down by work should file that claim. But certainly when you go speak with your doctor and any surgical recommendations are made, that is exactly the time where you want to give us a call. The consultations are risk-free. You're going to call us, and we can guide you through what needs to be done to, one, get the claim filed, and two, ensure that your doctor agrees that it's work-related. So the biggest mistakes are really just not knowing that you may have a workers' compensation claim if you're worn down by work, and then two, not reporting it to your employer, and then lastly, not letting your doctor know. It's so very important because at the end of your case, we're going to need to speak to your doctor and get verification that the underlying injury was caused by your work activity. So it's really important your doctor knows what you're doing and how that contributed to the dysfunction.
We're talking with Alex Eichhorn. He is the founder and managing attorney of Axis Legal. You can find him on the web at theaxislegal.com. That's AXIS. So I have to think, too, Alex, insurance companies play a role here. So what if someone's gone that route, they've sought a claim that's being denied or has been denied, or maybe the insurance company says, look, this doesn't look work-related to us. Now what do they do?
Yeah, and that's certainly the moment when you absolutely want to get in touch with my team at Axis Legal. These doctors that oftentimes you're sent to through the workers' compensation company are called independent medical examiners. However, they're anything other than independent. Behind the scenes, there's a clear relationship. The work comp company sends hundreds of injured workers to them, and they continue to save the workers' compensation company money by denying benefits or denying surgeries. So what we really want to start formulating is a doctor who will have your back when the time comes. You can see the judges know that these independent medical examiners are just what they are. They're paid doctors. So when we can come in with a strong report from a doctor of your choosing and an independent doctor, an actually independent doctor, it goes a long way.
So somebody listening right now, Alex, probably concerned about the cost. I would imagine not everyone thinks they have the means to get legal help from your firm. So how do you work with clients?
Yeah, our services are entirely risk-free, meaning that you will never pay us a single dollar out of your own checkbook. The only time that my office is paid is directly by workers' compensation, and we are only paid if we're able to get you benefits that you otherwise would not have received. Furthermore, if you give us a call, the consultations are entirely risk-free, and a vast majority of the time, someone may not need us. We may say, okay, this is how you file the claim, this is what to be on the lookout for, and their claim may be conceded, meaning work comp does agree that it's work-related. But oftentimes, we continue to follow up with people, whether it be 2 weeks, 3 months, or years down the road, and ultimately work comp does deny. They send you for that independent medical examination, and again, it's just not so independent. So the denial comes, and we're there waiting to help you out when the time comes.
Alex, somebody listening right now, they're listening to this, and they're saying, worn down by work, that's me. This is speaking to me. What is their first step?
Give us a call. Go online at theaxislegal.com. That's AXIS. Submit a contact form. We will reach out to you if it's within business hours, within minutes. We're going to give you all the information you need. Again, the consultation's free, and you will be better protected after a 5-minute conversation with my office.
That's Alex Eichhorn. He's the founder and managing attorney of Axis Legal. Alex, thanks so much for what you do for the working people here in Southeast Wisconsin.
Thank you so much, Vince. And
you can reach out to Alex and his team at Axis Legal. The website is theaxislegal.com, and that's Axis, A-X-I-S. I'm Vince Vetrano, and this is the Sunday Sip.
Thanks a lot, Vince, and I'm Libby Collins, and I'm going to get out of here right now because I got to go make some chicken wings and put together some salsa, maybe some guacamole as well, because it is the big game today. Frankly, don't care about the game. Really don't care about the halftime show, but I do care about the commercials, so I'll be watching that. First, one of the few times that I actually want to watch commercials on television. Probably we're all on the same boat on that one. Stick around. Right after the news, we've got Adam Roberts with the Reporter's Notebook, and then I'm going to be back at 11 o'clock on WTMJ Conversations with Dr. Toby Campbell. I think you're going to find him so interesting. He explains from his perspective, and again, he works a lot with terminal cancer patients. He works with hospice. He works with helping people reach those life choices, and also organ transplants. So you don't want to miss it. That's at 11 o'clock this morning on WTMJ Conversations.
Kessler's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
We have all the colors and clarities and carat weights of diamonds